Hello everyone, I am back with another video for you today. 2 years ago, I made a digital card game tier list, and now I am back. I have refined my opinions, I have discovered more card games, and I am here to share with you the most complete, the ultimate card game tier list with all of the card games I've played, and even some that I haven't. Controversially, I'm going to be rating them all as we have done before. Tier list fashion. There are going to be some hot takes in this video. There are going to be some things that upset a few of you, I'm sure. There are also going to be some very good and well thought out opinions, if I do say so myself. So, firstly, Yu-Gi-Oh! I've not played this. I haven't played any Yu-Gi-Oh! Is it a good game? I don't know. Question mark tier, okay? Same goes for Faria. I never played Faria. I heard some people talk about it. It's a card game, sure. Pokemon? Question mark? Okay, a lot of card games here I haven't played. If you guys have played them, let me know where you think they deserve to go on the tier list. But okay, let's start strong with a Hearthstone. I think previously I rated this a C. I've been thinking about it a little bit, honestly, and I think Hearthstone deserves a bit more than a C. I'm going to be rating these games, by the way, based on the mechanics, rather than anything outside of the mechanics. Not talking about the cost to acquire a collection, or, you know, the matchmaking systems or anything. No. Just mechanics, okay? Hearthstone, mechanically speaking, very solid game, I think. Better than its predecessor, Magic the Gathering. Paved the way, of course, for many, if not arguably all modern digital card games. I think it's deserving of a B. I sometimes find myself watching Hearthstone videos, even though I don't play Hearthstone, I haven't done for years, which I think is a testament to the mechanics of the game in that it's quite enjoyable, easy to watch, get into. It's very clear on screen what's going on, and it's just quite interesting. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff going on in a game of Hearthstone. I think it's a good game. I'll put it in B, okay? It's gone up a little bit in my estimation since the last tier list. Okay, next up. Game that's very near and dear to my heart, and probably a lot of you folks as well, if I had to guess. It is Gwent, the Witcher card game, coming to a slow and unfortunate death, over the next sort of year and a bit, I suppose, potentially, unless the community keeps it going, which maybe they will. Gwent, where do we even begin with Gwent? So firstly, I've taken the liberty of splitting this into pre-Homecoming Gwent over here, and Homecoming Gwent, because if we're being honest, guys, not really even the same game, okay? Homecoming, that was complete... It was not a Homecoming, let's just put it that way. It was a very different game, and I think they deserve different ratings. So, OG Gwent, Beta Gwent, before the game proper with Homecoming came out, okay? Oh, what a fucking game. Let's put that S tier easy, I don't need to even explain it. I will, for anyone that didn't play Gwent. Gwent's actually pretty similar to Marvel Snap, for any Marvel Snap players watching. It was all about winning a couple of rounds in the same way that with Snap it's about winning a couple of locations out of 3. Just really solid mechanics. I think maybe it's fair to say Snap has borrowed some elements from Gwent, some of the positive elements there. But yeah, the OG Gwent, really solid mechanically, and just a joy to play, very deep, and different to any other card game at the time by a mile. Yeah, they changed it a lot with Homecoming, and unfortunately, while Homecoming at first was a pretty terrible game, like, no lie, it was one of the worst card games I think I ever played was original Homecoming Gwent. But over time, the game improved a lot, they added a lot of systems, and it got a lot more fleshed out. It became a pretty good game in its own right. I think I'll give Homecoming Gwent an A. Doesn't live up to playing that OG Gwent. I know a lot of you will feel the same way as me on that. It's okay if you don't, but yeah, Homecoming gets an A, I think. That's where I'd rate it, and OG Gwent, S tier game, mate. What a card game, honestly. Okay, what do we have next? Legends of Runeterra. We've had a bit of a resurgence for Legends of Runeterra. Seen it gaining, regaining some popularity with the changes they made to the card cycle system, or whatever you want to call it, giving a bit of a breath of fresh air to the game, some new life, and I assume a lot of you folks maybe have tried Runeterra recently. A decent card game, I would say. I'd put this in B tier. It's not the most fun I've had with a card game, and I got a little bored, honestly, after a while, but I think it's deserving of a B tier. A very solid, mechanically, it's, taking some elements from even games like Artifact, which I'll get onto in some way, some kind of initiative system, and, you can store your mana, you can bank the mana, which is quite interesting. There's instants and stuff like that, like there is in Magic. Taken a lot of elements of other card games, sort of mashed it all together, you get Legends of Runeterra. It's competent, it's an okay game. I wouldn't put it higher than B tier, though, I don't think. Next, we have Artifact. I always love coming back to Artifact, mate. It's such a fun one. How many of you remember Artifact? I mean, how could you not, right? It was a massive sensation for a very brief period, and then it just nosedived in popularity and was completely dead. No one ever revisited the game. Now, I actually played Artifact quite recently with some friends. We fired up the old Artifact client, played some games. It's actually pretty fun. I think Artifact's a pretty solid game. I don't think it's the best card game ever, and it certainly had some issues. The mechanics, it was a little slow sometimes. The games were quite long. There were some clunky interactions, some random arrows going different directions. It was a bit weird and wonky, but there was a certain charm and polish to the game, and mechanically, again, very different to any other game on the market. Definitely, nothing even comes close to trying to replicate the Dota, experience, which is what Artifact was trying to do. So I've got to put Artifact in A tier, I think. Decent game, actually quite solid. Did revisit that one recently, in fact. Okay, next we've got Elder Scrolls Legends. This game's okay. I don't have much to say about this one. It died a while ago. I don't remember where I put it last time in the tier list. It's going to C. I think it's pretty average. Maybe I rated it higher before. I had an okay time with this. It didn't really hook me for very long, but I played some, I played around with it for 10, 20 hours, something like that. It was an okay card game. It had some unique mechanics going on, like some rune system or something like that, where if you get too far ahead in the game, then you sort of, there's a comeback mechanic, whatever. I'm sure some of you were fans of that game. Let me know if you think C is worthy, or if maybe I'm not being very fair, but I think it was pretty average. Pretty okay game. Okay, Shadowverse, mate. Never played it, honestly, but I know it's a weeb card game, so I don't want to offend the weebs. I'm going to put it in question mark here. Same with Eternal. I've not played Eternal. I hear it's an okay card game. Maybe it's good. I don't know. Question mark. Who knows? Okay, Magic the Gathering. Now we get into the controversial topics, guys. Honestly, why are there even so many tiers here? Like, how am I don't have enough card games to put in all these tiers. Magic, though, E tier, mate. Goodbye. Sorry if you're a Magic enjoyer. Sucks to suck, I guess. I don't know what to tell you, mate. Mechanically, Magic the Gathering, while it is quite complex, it's a very complex card game, in fact. I mean, there's a lot going on. You've got all the instants, the interaction with the opponent, denying what the opponent does. I mean, there's just so much going on with it. I think that's actually a detriment in many ways. The game is not very approachable. I had some friends playing Magic recently around me, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, this is impenetrable. If you're playing certain formats in Magic, there's just no way to understand what the hell's going on. And maybe that's an unfair criticism, but I just feel like there's just a lot of problems with the game. The land drawing is such a nightmare, and I know, like, Magic players will defend it, they'll say this and that, but come on, man. Like, everyone knows deep down, Magic mechanics, they're old as fuck. This game is like, it must be getting on for like 50, 60, 70 years old at this point. Something like that. Ridiculous, right? Definitely an important card game, but yeah, I don't know, man. Not for me. Mechanically, not enjoyable. I played it when I was younger, had a good time, but you discover new card games and you realize the Magic mechanics are just a bit... it's just a bit clunky, a bit dated for me, personally. Okay, next up, we have Marvel Snap. What do you know? I'm playing Marvel Snap at the moment. I play quite a bit of it. I'm a bit torn on where to put Snap. I think Snap's a very interesting game. It certainly lacks some of the complexity and depth of other card games in some way, but I think it has some features that are very, very fun and interesting. I love the Snap mechanic. I think that's a great addition to the card game genre. I think a lot of other games, if they implemented a similar style of thing, it would reduce the frustration a lot and make the game a lot more enjoyable. I'm a bit torn on where to put Snap. I'm between S and A. I think there are great things about the mechanics, but on some level it is a little bit shallow. There's quite a lot of randomness. The games are quite fast. It is a bit of a toilet game, even mechanically speaking, but there's some real fun to be had there, and I think people that just shit on Snap for it being too simple are not fully appreciating that there is some depth to certainly the tournament mode, and you know, the interactions between decks. There is some genuine, pretty cool stuff going on with Snap. I think I'll put it in A. I could put it in S, honestly. I think it could be worthy of that, but I think A is fair. Okay, next up, Teppen. I've talked about Teppen before. I think this game is still going strong, and I think my dad is even still playing it, honestly. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? I don't think S tier is worthy. I put it S tier before. It's maybe a bit of a stretch, guys. I'll put it A tier. This was a good game, mechanically. You had some kind of real-time stuff going on, because it's replicating Tekken or whatever, the fighting game, not literally. You know, it's definitely a mobile card gamey, gacha game kind of vibes, but the mechanics there were very interesting. You had to like swipe your cards into the locations, and then they would like attack each other. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I like Teppen. Mechanically, very cool. Very interesting and different to other card games. I thought it was great. Okay, next up, DC Dual Force. Oh, brother, this is the game that everyone's getting all excited about. They're getting a little, when can I play the beta of DC Dual Force? I can't wait. Oh my goodness, it looks so fun. I can't wait to play. Guys, I haven't played DC Dual Force, so putting it on this tier list is a little bit unfair. But to be honest, it's my video, so I can do whatever I want, and I'm putting this in D tier. Ooh, I'm going to piss some people off with that decision. Now, I've looked, I mean, firstly, I'm putting it here because I want at least something in every category to make it look nice, so, you know, take this with a grain of salt. The gameplay, to me, doesn't look that interesting. I'll be completely honest. I have not been turned off by a card game that much, other than by watching Magic the Gathering in recent times, okay? DC Dual Force, nah, dude, miss me with that. I don't want to play that. Honestly, I'll try it out, probably. And it's a bit unfair of me to say it's bad before even trying it, but I don't know, whatever. If I get some hate for that, I get some hate for that. I'm okay. I'll deal with it. It's a D tier. D for DC Dual Force, okay? It makes sense. Flesh and Blood. How many of you have played Flesh and Blood? This is a physical card game only. I've played a lot of Flesh and Blood. I've played some tournaments for it. I've played in person a lot. It's a fun game. You go and hang out with your local community. You sling some cards. It's very expensive to get into, but it's very fun. And mechanically speaking, Flesh and Blood is an S tier game. I can't really explain why. You just have to play it and understand that it is S tier worthy. It's basically, the idea is you are playing cards from your hand to attack the opponent. The opponent then can block those cards. If they block cards, they then cannot use those cards to attack back themselves. So it's this constant give and take, a tug of war between two players, very mechanically deep. There's a lot of depth there, but it's not overly complicated like something like Magic. There's not all of this crazy interaction with instance upon instance upon instance and minions all over the board clogging it. No, it's very straightforward, great mechanics, great game, honestly great game. So I recommend looking into Flesh and Blood if you're into physical card games. If not, it's fine, dude. Don't sweat it, but great game. Finally, I have Warhammer Warpforge. This card game's not out. I've played a little bit of it, the beta. Kind of interested me, honestly. I'm going to throw this one in B tier. This game seemed pretty cool to me. It's kind of a bit like Hearthstone. It's got a bit of a twist. I'm not sure how to explain exactly the gameplay, in part because I haven't played a huge amount of it, but you've got basically Hearthstone-esque mechanics with some Warhammer theme. I quite like Warhammer. Mechanically, it seemed pretty solid. You know, you've got units that can like either shoot at range or they can attack in melee. And so you'll do different things because of that. Like, there's quite a cool system going on there. I'm pretty excited to see this game when it comes out and is fully available for everyone to play. So, guys, this is my refined tier list. I should honestly play these games just to be able to fully complete this tier list, right? But let me know if there's any games that I missed that you think deserve to be on here. Let me know what you think you would rate these games. If I got anything horribly wrong, or incredibly right, then let me know. I think I'm spot on with some of these, mate. OG Gwen S tier, without a doubt. Not even a question. Hearthstone, Runeterra, yeah, that's pretty similar. Similar vibes, you know, take your pick. Mate. Well, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe as always for more, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.